your co-program director, ministers and deputy ministers who are here with us, Premier of Gauteng, Premier David Makura, Nkosikazi Mhlawuli, the Chair of the Traditional Leaders Council, Professor Musoma, Chair of the Cultural and Religious Council, our nation's artists, whom today we celebrate, and all of you fellow South Africans. Heritage Day is always a good cause to celebrate. It is a day when we appreciate the rich, diverse, and common cultural heritage that makes us proudly South African. It is an opportunity for us to be who we are in our attires, in our beautiful attires, looking as beautiful and handsome as all of you are today. And sebahle. Nam food. It is an opportunity to invite friends, to relax, to be with family over a home-cooked traditional meal, and also an opportunity to play traditional music and to pay tribute to those who have come before us. Just as we celebrate where we have come from, we know that culture continues to evolve, to adapt, and it also continues to change. Just as our traditional dress has been adapted into modern fashion and contemporary music is infused with cultural strains, many South Africans today are wearing their very favorite colors and are gathering around a braai as we speak now. No matter our race, our ethnicity, our language or religion, there is no right or wrong way to observe Heritage Day. What matters most is that we are taking the time to celebrate our South Africanness. Days such as this also remind us that unity in diversity is indeed our greatest strength as a nation. At a time when so many parts of the world are being torn apart by division, by ethnicity, by nationalism, by language, by religion, we can, as South Africans, continue to hold our heads high and say we are united in our diversity. Yes, we may have our differences, and there are many, but when it comes down to it, we are South Africans first and foremost. The rest follows later. We respect one another. Rea thompana, siahlonipana, rea thonipana, ont respecteer mekaar. We know that cultural pride and expression is never an excuse for chauvinism, for ideas of ethnic superiority, for tribalism, for thinking that one group is better than another. We also know that there is no room for xenophobia or for misogyny. This year, we are using Heritage Month to celebrate South African indigenous music. And in particular, we are using today and indeed this month to immerse ourselves in the knowledge, in the memory of one of the most outstanding legends of our music in South Africa, Ubaba Solomon Linda. We chose this theme to acknowledge the role that indigenous music, especially isicathamiya, played in the lives of our people during the dark days of apartheid and colonialism. Indigenous music didn't just entertain and comfort the dispossessed black majority, it also mobilized and united our people in the townships, in their various halls, in the marketplaces, in the beer halls, and open fields where groups like the Evening Birds, led by Solomon Linda, where they performed classics, outstanding musical pieces like Imbube, where places of great importance where political conversations happened about the state of our country. And because of its ability to bring people together, to unite them and to encourage discussion, our indigenous music helped to shape our present reality of a free and democratic society. Our artists use song and dance, as we heard, and as we saw uNkosikazi Mhlawuli demonstrating here. They use song and dance to transmit messages, most effectively in ways that conventional channels could not. We therefore have a moral responsibility to preserve this music and to protect those who created it, but also those who continue to create this music. Because we don't want the tragedy that befell Solomon Linda, to visit them. Though he composed and recorded many songs, Imbube was his best known one, which, as you know, was also featured in The Lion King. South Africa was still a British colony when difficult circumstances made him sell the rights to the song to a record company. It is said that it was sold just for 10 shillings. In today's currency, that would be $1, and many of us will agree that was daylight robbery. And because of that, he was able to create an outstanding musical piece that has helped to create a genre of music, isicathamiya. And as you heard Minister Nathi Mthethwa relate that a number of other pieces of music genres have also originated from this, our land. And we as South Africans must be proud of this, because we have had great South Africans like Ubaba Solomon Linda, who created a song that has not only been played in great movies, but also has been played by a number of great stars internationally. And recently, we also had another song, Jerusalem, which spread around the world, which also saw many, many people around the world also dancing to it. So we've had great creations. We've had great composers like Ubaba Solomon Linda. So this month, and particularly on this day, we pay tribute to Ubaba Solomon Linda, but we also pay tribute to our artists, to our music artists, and many others who participate in many art forms, as well as poets, artists who draw pictures. This month, we say we honor you, we recognize you, we respect you, and we want you to succeed as our South African indigenous music artists. As the minister said, yes, we have had great difficulty in having occasions like this because of COVID. Much as COVID is not yet over, we're able to meet like this and showcase our cultures and celebrate Heritage Day, an important day in the life of our nation because it makes us remember the past, but it also makes us appreciate our diverseness, our cultures, our languages, our traditions, but it also enables us to look forward into the future. A future that at the moment, yes, is challenged by a number of things that are happening around the world, in our own country. Globally, we were gripped by the COVID-19 pandemic, a pandemic that killed well over 100,000 South Africans, a pandemic that is not yet over. It is still here with us, even though it is much less intensive than it was. Then we had the unrest of last year. Then we had loss of jobs. 2 million people lost their jobs, and the economy suffered greatly. And then we had the floods that devastated the livelihoods of many of our people. And then we also have had challenges of rising food prices, fuel prices, as a result of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine that is having an impact on us. And now we are going through the throes of an energy crisis, a crisis that has been with us for many years, and a crisis that we continue to make all efforts to address. But in the recent 2 weeks, we have been seeing rising load shedding completely disrupting our lives, our economy, and causing havoc from a social point of view, health point of view, and these are the challenges that we face. Even as we face these challenges, as South Africans, as we have done in the past, we have persevered. And I ask once again, let us persevere. The challenge is being addressed. It's a complex one, and we will be speaking soon about the various measures that we are taking to make sure that we address this challenge. Today, we should look at ourselves. We should look at ourselves as a nation and look at ourselves through the prism, through the eyes of our cultures, of our traditions, and for a moment, be able to honor those who have so enriched our lives through what they do to bind this nation together, through song, through dance, through the arts. We know that our artists went through a very difficult time during COVID. And as Minister Mteta was saying, we made many efforts as well to support our artists, but we may not have spread the support as broadly and as widely as we should have. But where it was given, it was impactful. And we'd like to thank our artists for having stayed the course and for continuing to ensure that they don't only keep our people entertained, but they deepen the cultural heritage of our country. So today being Heritage Day, let us celebrate this day through expressing ourselves, through our clothing, our attire, through the indigenous food that we should enjoy, through also taking pride in our languages. Re bue dipuo tsa rona, re ikutlwe re le motlotlo ha re bua dipuo tsa rona, sikhulume amalimi ethu, siziqhenye ngokuthi yebo amalimi wethu asekhona, even though our past apartheid rulers tried to destroy our languages and also destroy our heritage. Ibula marimi aina, hitiba kuri hibanu, bala Afrika Zonga. Richard Deva ure rine rivonyi, rivatu bafano Afrika Chipembe, rina mikwa yashu, rina maitele ashu, rina ndira dzine raita zwithu zwashu ngayo. Heli noni duba ndi duba labu dinga manda karine rirote batu ba Afrika Chipembe ritele uri na haba batuku, the young ones in our nation must see us celebrate our heritage, celebrate what has been handed to us by our forebears, knowing that, yes, we can preserve our cultures, we can preserve our languages, and we can preserve what has been handed down to us. I want to say to our artists as well, so that there is assurance that what happened to Ubaba Usolomon Linda should never happen again, because his descendants struggled a great deal to even get the benefits of his creativity. The new copyright amendment bill passed by the Parliament at the beginning of Heritage Month will go a long way in protecting our artists towards addressing their concerns about the collection and distribution of royalties. We are determined to use the law where necessary to preserve our cultural heritage. We will also defend and preserve our indigenous languages as well. We have paid specific attention to the Khoi and San languages. Today, we have candidates successfully submitting their master's dissertations and doctoral theses in African languages, irrespective of their field of study. This would not have been possible in the past. The incremental introduction of African languages policy in our schools is also having the desired impact, challenging the notion that knowledge of English is enough to progress in our society. We ought always to remind ourselves of the centrality of our heritage to the health of our nation's soul. While today we are shining the spotlight on our indigenous music and its legendary creators, our heritage is much more than just that. Our heritage is also the best version of ourselves that we seek to become. I am referring here, of course, to what also Professor Musoma spoke about, Ubuntu, which speaks of our innate spirit of generosity and human solidarity. It speaks of our compassion and kindness towards other people, especially those less fortunate and also those from foreign lands who have sought refuge here. As Minister Mteta was saying, we should respect ourselves first. We should look at ourselves with respect so that others can respect us. We are, as South Africans, a friendly and hospitable people, and it is inconsistent with our values to be xenophobic. I am proud that at many places of work, at schools and institutions, our brothers and sisters from other countries have joined the heritage celebrations. And as we heard from Nkosikazi Mhlawuli, there are other many nations that are here today. People from various countries have joined us to be part of our celebrations. And as Africans, we are people with a shared history and a common destiny. Among the most important values that define us as a people is our utmost respect for women and the elderly. The historical position of women in our traditional communities is a far cry from the present-day toxic notions that many men have of masculinity and patriarchal relations of power. In their wisdom, our forebears attach great power to positions of women in our family structures, such as Rakgadi, Datuwabo, Makazi, and the like. There is no part of heritage of any South African community that permits men to demean women or impose their will on women through violence. On this day, when we celebrate our heritage, we must look deep within ourselves and return to the positive values of our communities. By restoring the values that we celebrate on Heritage Day, we will put an end to the culture of rape and the scourge of gender-based violence and femicide. We will care for our children as we must never abuse the young children who are the future of our country. We will value and cherish abantu abadala, bokuku, and give them the respect they have earned through many years of hard work, sacrifice, and guidance to us. Parents will once again take responsibility for all children in their community and not look away in the face when they misbehave. Some people may ask, how can we celebrate our heritage at a time like this when we are going through hardships? Yes, as I said, we are going through a challenging period. We are a nation with heritage that is defined by struggle, by courage, by perseverance, by determination to overcome even the greatest challenge. And so let us call on this heritage as we confront the difficulties that confront our people and our nation. And I call on all of us to work together to implement all the various interventions that we need to implement. And in the end, let us fully embrace ourselves and one another. Let us embrace this rich tapestry of history and cultural heritage we have. For it is in our heritage that we have strength. Our heritage is our history. It is also our strength. To all South Africans, wherever you are, whatever you believe in, whatever language you speak, I say today, I wish you a very happy Heritage Day. Let us cherish this day. It is our day to respect our heritage, to embrace our heritage, to applaud our heritage, and more importantly, to embrace one another. And look at the person close to you and say, Happy Heritage Day. Thank you very much.